Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a campsite. I haven't really made anything like this before, but quite a few of you guys suggested it, and I've been making some weird stuff lately, so I thought I'd give it a go. Hopefully you guys do like it. If you do, I'd really appreciate it if you could give this video a like, favourite, share, anything you'd feel like doing to help the video out. I'd honestly really appreciate it, and it inspires me to make some weird, different stuff. Comment down below, what else should I make? Also, check out the card system, check out the description below. I'll be leaving a couple of builds that I've done recently that may or may not relate to this. Nothing really relates to this that I've built before, but I'll leave you some cool stuff in the card system and the description below anyway. More than enough talking though, if you want to make this thing, here's what you're going to need. We're going to want to start off by grabbing some cobblestone wool. We'll want a netherrack. We'll also need something to light the netherrack. We'll need like a flint and steel or whatever. Also, grab yourself some stone slabs. You'll also want to grab your wood of choice. I'm going to be using oak wood. We'll also need some oak wood planks. Also, grab yourself some oak wood stairs. You'll need oak wood slabs. And grab a material of choice. So, this last material is what we're going to be making the tents out of. We're going to need 3 different materials in total. We only have room for 1, and you can make them out of whatever you want. I'm going to be making my first tent out of red stained clay, but you could easily use glass if you wanted to. Don't know why I suggested glass, wool, anything. You could make it out of anything. I'm using clay though. So, once you have each one of your materials, and once you've figured out where you want to make it, I'll be making it right here, you're going to want to kick off your campsite by placing a netherrack dead in the center of where you want the campsite to be. So that is dead center to where the campsite is going to be. Around that netherrack, we're going to place cobblestone wool. Light the netherrack with a flint and steel. Then go all the way around your little campfire with your stone slabs, like this. Perfect. Then, what we want to do is, on either side of the campfire, so each one of these sides of 5, we want to, 1 row away, have a little log seat. So we want to have an oak wood log seat, and it wants to be the same length as the side of the campfire, but it just wants to be 1 row away, facing sideways with your oak wood. So that's the first one. And then we'll want to place another one here, so starting off like, it's not facing the right way. It's so difficult to get to cooperate, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we'll just have to do it like that. We'll just have to place a couple of blocks around it. So that's the second seat, and then the next one will be here, won't it? So 1, 2, whoops, oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just equal in length to the campfire, and then this last one is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to knock out that oak wood. So we just want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. And this is just the center of your campsite. And as a matter of fact, you don't need any of the materials anymore that you've just used. We only really need the ones that we have now until we move on a little bit later. So once you've got that taken care of, this is what you want to do next. Wherever you want to build the first tent is the log that you want to start at. So let's say that we want to build the back tent first, so that tent facing that way. We want to take this left end of the log seat that we have, and we want to take out our material of choice, which is going to be red stained clay. We want to leave a gap of 9 between this oak log that we have here and between the direction that we're going. So let's count on the floor and let's find the 10th block in the floor. So this will be the first block, second, third, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th. Then left of this 10th block, we want to place 2 red stained clays. So in this position, we want to have 2 red stained clay. You can have the tents closer or further away or in a more jumbled fashion, but this is going to be where the tent is, and it lines up perfectly with the campfire. We then want to go up on top of this right hand red clay block, and we want to go up by 1, right 1, up 1, right 1, up 2. Then go right by 2, go down 2, 1, 2. Go right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. So you want to have something which should look like this. And you know what? We're actually forgetting a material. We're going to want to grab ourselves some oak fence. We'll need some oak fence. And what we now want to do is we want to, in front of and left of that left-hand red stained clay, this one right here, we want to place a red stained clay block. Then do 5 upright diagonals from it. That'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we want to do bottom right diagonals until we eventually connect all the way down to the opposite side on the floor. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like this, and that's kind of just like the tent opening. And what we now want to do is this. So we want to place an upside down oak wood stairs underneath that top red stained clay, and then we want to in between these red stained clays here, these two red stained clays, we want to place oak fence, and we want to connect them down to the ground. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that. We also now want to come to the back of our tent, or the side of the tent more accurately, and we want to take each one of... No, you know what, it's actually easier to do it this way, and I think that it gives a cooler texture inside of the tent. So move the red stained clay and the oak wood stairs together. Go left of this very first, or most outward red stained clay that we have here, and we want to go left of it by 1 with the stairs, then 2 with red stained clay. We then want to go left by 1 with the stairs, 2 clay, 1 stairs, 2 clay, 1 stairs, 1 clay. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like this, and that's the pattern that we're aiming for. So we not only want to have this pattern here on the floor, but we also want to apply it on top of each one of these blocks that we have here. So we want to have like an oak stair here, here, and here, and we also want one here. We can actually destroy that red stained clay block there, and we just want to have it running all the way up the side of the tent like that. And we want the same for the red stained clay, like this, coming all the way up the tent, and whoops, and we also want the same for these stairs again. So we just want to have these stairs built into the tent like this, and then we're just going to place the red stained clay all coming back. It's all the same materials at the front part of the tent, except we want them inbuilt like this. So we just want to come backwards, and we just want to drag that very first layer until we have the texture of the tent. So the reason that we did this, instead of just dragging the actual, instead of just like using red stained clay, is because when you get to the inside of the tent, it's a bit of a cooler texture to have like the stairs built in. So what we now want to do is on top of each one of those stairs, we actually want to place another stairs, and we also want to place them just outward at the bottom. So you want to end up with something that should look a little bit like that. So can you see? So it looks like the red stained clay is being propped up by the oak wood stairs. It's a little bit more of a tedious process doing it like this, like building the stairs into the tent as we are, but it does look a little bit better from the inside, and that's all that matters. It's from the inside. It doesn't really improve it any other way, but you want to end up with something that should look like that. And just coming to the inside part of the tent, you'll see that you now have the stairs built in, and it does look cool when you're on the inside portion of the tent. So once you've got that taken care of on that one side there, we actually want to do the same thing on this opposite side. So on this opposite side, going like right of this end red stained clay, we want to do a oak stair, or an oak stair I should say, then 2 clay, 1 stair, 2 clay, 1 stair, 2 clay, 1 stair, 1 clay. And of course, we want to drag that pattern, and we want that pattern to be applied. We have to destroy this red stained clay block. It really shouldn't be there, to be honest with you. Destroy that red stained clay block, and we could... So we just want to start with our layer of oak wood stairs coming all the way up the side, and then we're just going to want to drag the red stained clay over by 2. And then we're going to have our layer of oak wood stairs again, if I can place them. And then, of course, the layer of red stained clay. Again, this is a very, very slow method of making the tent. Very, very tedious, to be honest with you. But it does look very good once it's finished. I mean, we're not too far off of completing the tent itself, so we can have a look at it, and you guys can see whether you'll like it or not. I very much like these tents, and I hope that you guys do as well. So we're just placing these oak wood planks here, all the way up at the top. And now we just have one layer of red stained clay left to do, like that. And also, when you're at the back here, you can actually fill in the entire back of the tent with your red stained clay. So just fill in the back of the tent with your red stained clay like this, coming all the way up to the top. Also, we now have to add the extra layer of oak wood stairs on top of the stairs. So we just want to add an extra layer of stairs on top of the stairs, and this is just going to kind of look like the supports for the tent, like this. and we want to have something which should end up looking a little bit like that, and that looks quite nice, doesn't it? We now have our tent. Well, what we now want to do is we want to do a row of oak wood planks all the way up at the top of the tent. So we want a row of oak wood planks coming all the way up to the top of the tent like this. And hanging off of the back of the tent, we actually want to have an oak wood stairs. And hanging off of the front of the tent, we want to... Shall we? Yeah, we will. So we'll destroy this red clay block. We'll place another oak wood plank, and then we'll do an upside down oak wood stairs coming out of the front of the tent. What we now want to do is we want to add a layer of, you know what, I actually quite like them how they are. Now, we'll see how it looks. So we'll add a layer of slabs that starts on top of this oak wood plank, and it comes all the way back here. And we don't want it placed on top of the stairs, we only want it placed on top of the planks, and we want to run a row of oak wood fence coming all the way up at the back of the tent there, and it just wants to connect to that overhanging stairs. So in total, we want to end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Very cool looking tent. And if you come to the inside portion of the tent, can you see here where like each one of, can you see like where each one of the rows of oak wood stairs like connect to the top part of the tent? Well, you just want to run a rows of oak wood fence like connecting the top of the tent to the bottom part of the tent. So we just want to have something that should end up looking a little bit like this. You know how in tents, or at least in some tents, how like they have to be propped up, they have those poles? That's what these are. And if you want to just light up the tent a little bit, I won't blame you, but I'm not going to use torches. I'm just going to place like a beacon in here. I'm going to place a beacon in this position right there. And later on we'll stick a couple of things inside the tent, not too much, but that just lights it up a little bit. And that's the tent, guys. It's quite easy to make, really. I don't know whether I've made it complicated or not, but I think it's quite easy to make. And once you've got one tent, this campsite is actually designed to have 3 tents. So why don't we get rid of that beacon? No, we can keep the beacon. And why don't we decide what our other 2 colours of tent are going to be? So I'm thinking maybe, shall we go the traffic light system? Shall we grab some lime stained clay and some yellow stained clay? Why don't we do that? So grab any other 2 colours that you want your tents to be, and let's figure out where these things are going to be, guys. So I'm going to start with the yellow stained clay tent, and I want this tent to be left of the campsite. So we're going to take this very left end of this log seat, and counting into the floor, we're going to leave a gap. We're going to find the 10th block. So we want to find number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Go left of that block by 2 with your material of choice. Mine's yellow stained clay. This might be a really ugly looking tent, by the way. And then we want to, on top of this right hand yellow stained clay, we want to go up 1, right 1, up 1. Then we want to go right 1, then up by 1, do an upright diagonal, then a bottom right diagonal, go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that. We then want to come to the very left hand side of the tent, and in front of but left of that most left hand yellow stained clay block, we want to place 1 block on the floor like diagonal to it. We then want to do 5 upright diagonals. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then we want to do bottom right diagonals. So we just want to do bottom right diagonals until we come all the way down to the ground. So we just want to have something which should look like that. And what you can do, of course, is you can place an upside down oak wood stairs like right at the top there, and you can also, with your oak wood fence, like connect the center of the tent, like the center part of the tent, the top, all the way down to the ground, or from the ground to the top, like that. And what we now want to do is we want to come to the side part of the tent, and going left of, and we're just going to move the oak wood stairs close to the yellow stained clay for this. We want to go left of this diagonal yellow stained clay that we placed, and we want to place an oak wood stair. Then 2 yellow stained clay, 1 stair, 2 clay, 1 stair, 2 clay, 1 stair, 1 clay. So we want to have something which should look like that. And of course, once you have that pattern, we now want to place our layer of oak wood stairs on top of this diagonal part of the tent like that. And then we want to drag each one of those materials across. So we then want to do like a 2 layers of yellow stained clay. And then we'll want to do another layer of oak wood stairs like this. And then you guys know what's coming. We then want to do 2 more layers of yellow stained clay. Then a layer of oak wood stairs. then yellow stained clay, then a layer of oak wood stairs, then a layer of yellow stained clay. So we want to have something which should end up looking a little bit like that. It doesn't look that bad, yellow stained clay, as a tent, but maybe go a different colour, I don't know. We're now going to add the layer of oak wood stairs on top of the layer of stairs, so we're just going to come all the way up to the top here, and this is of course just to like show that the tent is being supported by the stairs. The first initial row, which by the way, do you guys think that the inside of the tent looks better with those? Because I do. I like the fact that they're there, to be honest with you. I kind of like them. I think that they look cool on the inside as you go, and it adds a different texture. And that's what we want the first side to be. We then want to come to the opposite side, and of course, first of all, we want to, going right of this yellow stained clay, we want to do an oak wood stair, then 2 yellow stained clay, oak wood stairs, 2 yellow stained clay, and oak wood stairs, 2 yellow clay, an oak wood stair, a yellow stained clay, like that. We then want to run that row of oak wood stairs coming all the way up to the top there. It doesn't want to actually connect to the top. I did that by accident. And then we want to drag each one of those materials over towards the back of the tent by like how many there are. So we just want to do like 2 yellow stained clay, and then we just want to have the oak wood stairs. Really, I wouldn't think of it as dragging it back. I'd think about like joining it up from the bottom diagonally. I guess that's a better way to think about it, because otherwise it's a little bit weird. But you just want to connect like the bottom of the tent to the top of the tent is essentially what we're doing with our various materials. I suppose that's a better way to picture it, but whatever. You guys can see what I'm doing on the screen anyway, so it doesn't really matter how I phrase it, just as long as you guys can see what you have to do. So we're just going to do the layer of yellow stained clay here. Perfect. And we're now just going to fill in the back of the tent with yellow stained clay, or again, whatever material you want to use. Various walls would look good, and loads of stuff would look good for these tents. And now we're just going to do oak wood stairs on top of those oak wood stairs. So we want to come all the way up to the top here, and we just want to build these supports for the tent. So we just have 2 more layers of this oak wood to do, and then we can put the finishing touches on the tent. We can make it look a little bit nicer. So just going to place those. Perfect. And what we now want to do is run a row of oak wood planks starting from the top part of the tent all the way to the back. We want an overhanging oak wood stairs coming off the back, and then we want oak wood fence running all the way up the back. We then want to come to the front of the tent. We want to knock out this yellow stained clay. We want to place an oak wood plank in front of it, then an upside down oak wood stairs in front of that. Run a row of oak wood slabs on top of each one of the oak wood planks, and we'll end up with something that should look a little bit like this. Not too bad. We then want to place a beacon inside. Oh, first of all, we just want to connect each one of those like central blocks of the tents down to the ground. So we just want to imitate fence poles, or fence posts, whatever they're called. I think they're poles. Those like metal poles. I've never been camping, to tell you guys the truth, but I understand roughly the idea of tents. So we just want to place all of those poles and then a beacon here, like in the middle-ish. And yeah, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. We have 3 poles. Yeah, that's looking nice. So once you've got that second tent taken care of and it's nice and lit up a little bit, we now have 1 tent. We have 2 tents. Why don't we move on to the third and final tent? There's only going to be 3 tents unless you want to add 4, but that's up to you. I'll show you what we'll be adding instead of a 4th tent in a bit. So this 4th tent, mine's going to be lime stained clay. I know this kind of looks like a traffic light campsite, but I don't care. I like it. On the right hand side of the campsite, this is how I want it to be. I'm in line with the very left hand oak wood in the oak wood bench, and we want to, counting into the floor, find the 10th block. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You want to go left by 1, place the lime stained clay, go left by 1 with your lime stained clay. On top of this right hand clay, we want to go up by 1, and then go right by 1, up 1, right 1, up 1, do an upright diagonal, followed by a bottom right diagonal, go down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1, down 1, right 1. You want to have this shape. Once you have that shape, we want to come to the very left hand side of the tent, and coming out diagonally in front of the tent, we want to place our lime stained clay. We then want to do 5 upright diagonals. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we want to do bottom right diagonals until we connect all the way down to the ground. So we just want to have something which should look like this. We then want to place our upside down oak wood stairs underneath that top limestone clay, and then we just want to do our layer of oak wood fence that connects the bottom middle part of the tent all the way up to the top middle part like that. We then want to come to the side of the tent, and it's going to benefit us if we place our oak wood stairs next to our lime green stained clay, and we want to go left of this very left hand limestone clay by 1 the oak wood stairs, then 2 lime clay, 1 oak wood stairs, 2 lime clay, 1 oak wood stairs, 2 lime clay, 1 stair, 1 clay, like this. We then want to connect each one of those materials that we have right here all the way up to the top of the tent. So obviously where you have oak wood stairs, you want to do oak wood stairs, and where you have lime stained clay, you want to place lime stained clay. I've just realised all the while that we're doing this, we have that fire roaring. It's looking quite nice around here, and we are rapidly approaching the end of the tent here, or the end of the tent section I should say, because this next bit is actually a little bit interesting. It's kind of cool what I have built, so, or at least I think so. I guess it's a little bit boring in retrospect, but it's kind of cool. I'll talk about it when we actually get to the point. I guess I won't say it now, but we want to finish connecting each one of those blocks all the way up to the top of the tent from the ground, and then of course we want to add our layer of oak wood stairs on top of the original layer of oak wood stairs, and this gives us not only like the support structure on the outside, or at least, you know, the looks of it, but it also allows us to keep like the aesthetic from the inside as well. So we just want to have something which should look a little bit like this. We then want to come to the opposite side of our tent, and we want to go right of this most right hand part of the tent, and we want to go right by 1 the oak wood stairs, then 2 lime clay, 1 stair, 2 clay, 1 stair, 2 clay, 1 stair, 1 clay. And then of course we want to connect each one of those materials diagonally all the way up to the top of the tent. So we're just going to place our clay where we have clay, and our stairs once again where we have stairs. I guess that I've repeated myself quite a bit throughout this tutorial. I've probably said that well over like 6, 7, maybe even 10 times, who knows. But just to keep the theme going. Just to remind you guys what you've got to do. Although these tents are pretty easy actually. Once you've done one, as most things are, they're pretty small. They don't take too long to do. So I'm sure that once you had the first one done, you'd pretty much nailed it. You probably didn't even need me after that first one had been taken care of. So we're just placing our lime now, and once we've done that, we're now going to fill in the back of the tent with lime stained clay, like this. And then we want to come to the side of the tent here, and we want to place our oak wood stairs coming all the way up, and we want those to come all the way up to the top. So this is going to give us our nice 3D tent structure, and once we've added all of these oak wood stairs, we can then make the finishing touches to the tent, which is my favourite bit. I like adding the nice little bits to the tent. This is part of the fun for me. I actually like doing this. I like tweaking them, making them look just a little bit nicer. So once you have the supports on either side, we then want to run the oak wood planks all the way up the top middle part of the tent, coming to the back. We would then want the overhanging oak wood stairs here. We then want the oak wood fence coming all the way up from the back middle to the top. Then we want to come to the front of the tent. We want to knock out that lime stained clay. We want to place an oak wood plank in its place, and then an upside down oak wood stairs in front of that. We then want to run a row of oak wood slabs all the way on top of each one of those planks for the top of the tent, and we'll end up with something that should look a little bit like that. Perfect. And what we're now going to do is come to the inside part of the tent. We're going to slap a beacon down in, yeah, about that position. And now we're just going to connect each one of those top and middle parts of the tent all the way down to the ground. So we'll take each one of those top middle parts of the tent all the way down to the ground, and that's actually a pretty decent placement for the beacon. That's not too bad. I can probably live with that, or probably stay there actually. So we're just going to connect each of these down, and we just want to have something which should look a little bit like that, and that's fantastic. And that gives us 3 campfires. So we have 3 campfires. We have 3 tents and 1 campfire. We're missing just one thing now. So I added a well to this. I thought it'd be a little bit boring if it was just tents. I thought it'd be a bit boring if it was just like 4 tents. So instead, I added a well instead of a 4th tent. And to make this, we're going to want to grab some polished andesite. We'll also need some stone brick stairs, some oak wood stairs, some stone brick slabs. We'll also need some cobblestone wool, We'll need some oak fence. We'll also want to grab, we need so many materials, guys, I'm having a hard time keeping track. We'll also need some oak wood planks, we'll need some oak wood, and we also need some nether brick fence as well. We actually need a couple more things later on too, but we'll just have to deal with what we have now. So once you have each one of those materials, you want to come and find the last bench that doesn't have a tent around it. So that's this one for me. We want to find the center block of the bench, and from this bench we want to count out from the center block, and we want to find the 10th block in the ground again. So this will be the first block, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th. On top of that 10th block, place an andesite. Go left and right of that andesite by 2. 1, 2, and 1, 2. We then want to take this left-hand andesite, this left-hand second andesite, and we want to move that way, going outwards by 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4. We then want to go right by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we want to connect back and form a square on the ground like this. We then want to go on top of each one of those 4 corner andesites by 2 with our oak wood planks. That's 1, 2, 1, 2, then 1, 2, 1, 2. We then want to place a cobblestone wall on top of each one of those planks like this. We then want to place an andesite on top of those cobblestone walls. We then want to connect, once you've placed an andesite on top of each one of those cobblestone walls, we then want to connect those together to form a square shape as I'm doing now. You guys can see what I'm talking about. We just want to form a nice square shape like this. And what we can then do is we can then, on the front and back parts of the well, so the front part of the well is obviously the part that faces the campsite. On top of the front part of the well, we want to find the second andesite coming in from the like the left hand side. So this is the first and this is second. On top of the second we place an andesite. Right of that we place an oak wood plank. Right of that an andesite. On top of the oak wood plank place an andesite. This formation that we have on the front we also want on the back. So on the back we want to be on top of this left hand second andesite. We want to place an andesite. Go right by one of the planks, one with the andesite. On top of the planks place an andesite like that. We then want to, on the sides of the well, we want to have, for the first layer of the roof of the well, we want to have a layer of stone brick stairs like this. And then we want to have a stone brick stairs poking out of the front and the back. So we want the roof to overhang like this. So the first row of the roof and the overhanging parts of the roof are actually stone brick, but the rest of the roof is oak wood stairs that we want to build up here in the center. Like that, if you guys can see what I'm talking about. We then want to come to the opposite side and we want the first layer of the roof again to be stone brick stairs, and we then want that to overhang the front and the back by 1 stone brick stair, and then we want to have the rest of the layers of the roof oak wood stairs, except for the top part. That's going to be a little bit different like that. We then want to add the layer of overhanging stone brick stairs that you guys can see. We want the overhanging layer of stone brick stairs. As you guys can see that I'm doing here, I'm doing the back now, like this. And then we want to do upside down stone brick stairs underneath each one of those overhanging blocks. So that's the back part taken care of, and this is the front part taken care of, like this. And now I'm going to do a layer of stone brick slabs coming all the way up the top center part of the well, and that will be the roof of the well complete, and that looks pretty decent. But we do have a couple of things missing. So for the rest of the well, we want to come to the left hand side of the well here, and we want to take this center block on the left hand side of the well, and we want to go up on top of this center block just left of the well. We want to go up by 3 with the oak wood plank, or with the oak wood. That's 1, 2, 3. We then want to go left 1. We then want to go left 1 with the nether brick fence. We then want to go down 1 with the fence. Whoops, I said down 1. We want to go down 1. And then left 1. And this is just like the crank that you would use to like bring the water bucket up and down from the well, which we're going to have, by the way. We then want to have stone brick stairs like surrounding each one of the 4 corners of the bottom part of the well. So just do stone brick stairs surrounding each one of the 4 corners of the bottom part of the well. And it'll end up looking a little something like that. That actually looks kind of good, doesn't it? Doesn't that look kind of cool? Well, what do we need next? So, it might just be easier to get rid of your polished andesite and get rid of your stone brick stairs. Grab yourself some water buckets and a cauldron. You want to place a cauldron in the very center of this, and then just above the cauldron, suspended from the ceiling here, we want to have nether brick fence. So you just want to have nether brick fence coming all the way down as far as it will go to the cauldron, and it will just look like a water bucket like that. We then want to place water around here, and it's your choice whether or not you want to fill the cauldron with water. I don't think I'll bother. Also, you can have the cauldron like one row high or one row low. You can mess about with that. We then want to place oak wood fence going all the way around the top of the andesite. So we just want to have a layer of oak wood fence going all the way around the top of the andesite like this. So we want to have something which should look a little bit like that, and doesn't that look fantastic? That's the well. I almost considered doing a little separate build on this because I do think that this is actually a pretty cool looking well. I don't know, maybe I'm a little bit crazy. I don't know, we'll have to see. Get rid of all your materials. It's now time for us to spruce up this campsite a little bit. So we'll focus on the inside of the tents before we focus on anything else. So some things that you might want to put on the inside of the tent: bed, crafting table, chests, light sources. We already have our light sources, so you might just want to place a bed, you might want to place like a chest, and you may just want a crafting table somewhere. I don't know where. Maybe here? Or maybe not. Maybe you just don't want a crafting table. Maybe you just want a bed and you want some chests. That's some stuff that you might want to place inside the tents, but you can customize them how you like. I don't think that you should cram the tents too full of stuff though, because I don't think it makes sense to have loads and loads and loads of stuff in a tent, because I mean they are just supposed to be like little portable, like basically rain covers. But I mean you can put anything you want in here. You could spruce it up a little bit. You could add a little bit of a library or some armor stands and stuff. You could I guess you could add an armor stand. An armor stand might make sense. Just behind like where you'd sleep, that might make sense. If you're struggling for stuff to put in here, I mean I guess you could put stuff like that. It wouldn't make sense to have like a sink in here and stuff, but it might make sense to have like an armor stand. And if you wanted to, you could add like a carpet to here, like the same color as the tent if you wanted to, but I kind of like just the grass floor look. But that's what you might want to do to the tent. Let's talk about the outside, because this is where we make it a little bit more interesting. So the outside of the tents, we're going to need some, where are you? We'll need some podzol. Never read that out loud before. We'll need some podzol. We'll also want to grab some stone bricks, and we also want some saplings. I'm going to be using spruce saplings, and I'm going to be grabbing some bone meal as well. Where are we? So some bone meal. And I'm going to basically rough up the areas around the tents, walking to the little campfire. I'm going to rough up the areas here, and I'm going to place some podzol, so kind of like making a little bit of a path, maybe something like that. I'm going to add a little bit of podzol, like from the tent all the way to the little fire. And this is just to show a little bit of wear and tear, so that, you know, somebody might actually use this, something like that. So it just makes it look a little bit nicer. You can make whatever shape you like in the ground. It just has to look a little bit worn. The more random, the better, which is why I'm not really explaining to you guys, oh, you should go up by one and left by one. Just make it random. Just make it a little bit random. You can make it more worn, less worn, completely up to you. But just destroy that, add podzol, and I don't know, it kind of looks cool, doesn't it? It looks as though that people have actually walked around, and if you wanted to, you could, like, in between the camping areas, like, or in between the tents, I should say, like, you could add, just like random, a bit more sporadic, podzol, just to show that people have, like, traveled between the areas. So maybe a little bit like this. You can use more, you can use less, you can do what you want. Completely up to you. I actually, in my original version of this, I don't have any additional podzol to the ones that I placed, like, around the tents. So, I mean, I don't know whether this will actually look good or whether this will be too much here, but a little bit of wear and tear doesn't hurt. No, that looks alright, actually. And I'm going to have some stone bricks, kind of like a broken stone brick path. In a similar method that we used to place the podzol, I'm going to have a broken stone brick path leading to the well, because I think that that'd be a bit more established than the podzol. So we'll just have something which will look a little bit like this. Now it's time to add some trees. So you might want to add a couple of trees in between the tents and stuff, and you might even want to add some behind. You might want to add some in various positions that you want, but I'm going to add 2 in between each tent. You can have, like, if you really want a proper forest area, like a really, really forest dense area, obviously you would add more, but I'm going to add these saplings, then I'm going to grow them, and I like spruce. Oh, I have to break my way out of this one. I like spruce, but obviously oak would also look good. I just like the idea of like a bit of a creepy vibe with these particular trees. And of course, you don't just have to bone meal the trees; you can bone meal the area surrounding them. So these are just the trees. I'm not going to condense it too much because I also want this for the thumbnail. But we have some bone meal like surrounding the trees here. Maybe a little bit, maybe not so much bone meal around like where people would be walking in between the tents, but definitely some bone meal like around the trees. That would look good. So if you can see what I'm talking about, and let's just have a look at this. God damn, that has improved a lot. So you just might want to have something that will look a little bit like this, and I think that that's a pretty cool looking campsite if I do say so myself. And that is it pretty much finished. Of course, you can mess about with colours, you can mess about with trees, you can mess about with everything as you like, but I do think that that is a very, very cool looking campsite. Hopefully you guys like it. If you do, please give this video a like, give it a favourite, give it a share. If you did enjoy this video, if you do like this tutorial, please give this video a like, give it a favourite, give it a share, because I actually worked quite hard on this, and I think that this does look absolutely fantastic. So if you wouldn't mind, like, favourite, share, subscribe if you haven't already. Not only do we make things like campsites around here, but we do like fishbowl houses. That's a weird one. We have suburban houses, we have police stations, we have various kinds of animal sanctuaries. That's an ice cream shop over there in the background. So we do loads of stuff around here. Subscribe if you aren't familiar with the channel, and you might like a load of the stuff that we put out here. Thank you very much for watching. Like, favourite, share if you wouldn't mind. Check out the card system. Comment down below. What else do you want me to make next? Honestly, I would love to hear it. I like this campsite a lot. I wouldn't have made this on my own. I only made this due to a suggestion. So let me know if you like it. What else do you want me to make in the future? Check out the card system. I'll be leaving some builds in there that hopefully you guys will like. Hopefully you guys will like some of the stuff that I'm leaving in there. I'll leave some interesting stuff in the description too. Thank you very much for watching. Like, favourite, share if you wouldn't mind. Subscribe if you haven't already. Check out the card system. Comment down below. And I'll see you guys in the next video.